Warning, the following program contains extreme sports and violence and may not be appropriate for younger viewers. Viewer discretion advised.
He stands 6 feet 4 inches tall.
Bigfoot Silva is an enormous man.
Weighing in at 262 pounds.
He's got huge hands.
Antonio!
They're like two canned hams on the end of his wrists.
Bigfoot!
He's literally a gigantic human being.
These aren't hammer fists, these are sledgehammer fists.
Try to explain the strength of a mutant is really hard. He doesn't know his own strength.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the UFC heavyweight champion, Cain Velasquez!
I have a fight against Bigfoot, and I'm gonna win again.
This is that freak athlete that destroys everyone in the gym.
I'm just the wrong guy to fight against.
Complete, total domination.
May 25th, I know I will be the UFC champion.
Cain Velasquez against Bigfoot. And here we go again.
UFC heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez defends his belt in a rematch with Bigfoot Silva. Former champ Junior Dos Santos tests his power against red-hot fan favorite Mark Hunt. And light heavyweight contender Te Teixeira tries to extend his winning streak in a battle with James Te Huna. The countdown to UFC 160 starts now. Last December, just 3 days before the new year, Cain Velasquez fulfilled a resolution to avenge his loss to Junior Dos Santos and reclaim the UFC heavyweight title.
Going into the fight with JDS, the second one, we just saw in his film he doesn't really throw too much when he's backing up. So keep the pressure on him, use punches, kicks, use my wrestling.
Cain's very aggressive, much more movement.
Got in a single leg, I tried to dump it, the dump didn't work. Somehow I got a body lock, was able to lift, took him down.
He's got Junior's back, he's got him down again.
I let JDS know that Cain was looking to change up the game, and he was looking to take him down, and so it was harder for JDS to let his hands go.
That overhand right that I threw, I've been working on it, sparring.
The punch that Cain landed on JDS, he learned from my coach, Pops Carvalho. He's like 79 years old.
Keep it, dump him. Head up, boy. Drop
the Pop specials, the overhand right.
He doesn't throw it like most guys that throw the overhand right to the side. He throws it over the top, where it's impossible for you to block that overhand right. You're going to eat it if you put your hands up like so.
Dos Santos just bewildered here. And not always wants to be here, but getting destroyed.
That was definitely the game plan, was keep pressure, keep grinding him down.
And pick it up right where he left off in round 1.
Slams it down, manhandling him.
I just had to stay on top of my game, couldn't do anything stupid. Even though I felt, tired and exhausted, I knew he was much more tired than I was.
Cain is just smothering here.
The tireless Cain Velasquez pounding away.
One moment I kind of thought about my wife and my daughter, and I just said I had to win this fight for them,
A domination of Junior Dos Santos here tonight.
He felt empty without that belt, so for him to go out there and reclaim that belt was the best feeling ever for him, better than the first time around.
And now, the new.
It just feels good to get back the belt, and especially in that way, in his game, to stand up as well.
5 weeks after Cain recaptured the belt, Alistair Overeem and Bigfoot Silva squared off to determine the champ's next opponent. Overeem, heavily favored, appeared supremely confident.
He's big, he's slow, he's sluggish. He's one big, huge walking target. And I'm pretty good at striking, so 1 + 1 is 2.
Apenas que eu era mais um número, que eu ia ser apenas mais uma estatística na carreira dele, e isso me chateou bastante. Eu achei que ele foi muito desrespeitoso e antiprofissional. Para mim era questão de honra ganhar dele.
The Ream against Bigfoot. Here we go.
When the fight began, Overeem took control.
Bigfoot, it's imperative that he gets this fight to the ground. Alce's got his hands down, chin up, not worried at all about Bigfoot.
O meu game plan não era de atacar, e sim de mais me defender para fazer com que ele cansasse.
Bigfoot seems to really be taking it slow, no sense of urgency whatsoever.
What we planned for happened. You killed his game. You just got to feint some more and bring in the distance.
The strategy was to get him tired. Overeem is not well known for his toughness, and Bigfoot is a tough man. He can take a beating.
So much striking experience for Overeem.
Ele me falou que era para mim colocar para baixo, porque já tinha feito exatamente o que a gente programou, mas foi ao contrário, ele que conseguiu me colocar para baixo.
The first 2 rounds belonged to Overeem, which, dangerous as it sounds, was Bigfoot's game plan.
He's tired. His fight's over. Now it's your fight.
Third and final round.
O game plan era colocar ele para baixo e usar meu ground and pound. Mas quando eu vi que ele estava muito cansado e baixando a cabeça e bem mais lento do que era, eu sabia que dava para nocautear, hein? Ver um campeão do K1 sendo nocauteado, deitando na minha frente, entendeu? Depois de falar tanto que ele falou. Então, para mim foi, eu acho que uma emoção única, uma coisa maravilhosa. Para mim foi muito bom. E eu espero que ele tenha aprendido. Essa vitória para mim foi muito importante, me colocou numa posição muito boa, tanto que agora eu vou ter uma oportunidade de poder lutar pelo cinturão.
Bigfoot Silva, ladies and gentlemen.
A grande realização do meu sonho, ser campeão mundial, conquistar o cinturão do UFC, para mim vai ser o ponto máximo da minha carreira.
UFC heavyweight champion is serious business. But that doesn't mean you can't let loose now and then.
Just to mix things up, make it more fun, make it more competitive, we decided to play dodgeball. And yeah, DC kind of takes over as far as what goes on and the rules and everything else. Doing that, we just had to stretch out a little bit, and then that's it. You know, we're ready.
Breaking the monotony of a training camp is understandable, especially for a fighter who has spent the last 2 years preparing for only 2 opponents. Sandwiched between his 2 title fights with Dos Santos was a previous meeting with Bigfoot Silva.
UFC heavyweight champion!
After a loss and wanting to get the shot at the belt again, I think you have to win impressively.
Touch close, go back, let's do this.
I couldn't go out there and win by decision and expect Dana to give me a shot right away.
Here we go!
In the first round, Bigfoot threw a low kick right away, ended up catching it, take him down off of that.
We wanted that fight to go to the ground, and Bigfoot gave us that luxury of making it easy for us.
Eu errei no meu game plan, fiz uma coisa que eu não estava treinando, estava pouco nervoso por ser a minha primeira luta no UFC.
I was in his half guard, just pushed his head down with my right hand and just threw an elbow right between the eyes.
Na primeira cotovelada que deu, abriu minha testa e aí foi muito sangue. Eu estava, na realidade, lutando para tentar enxergar.
And Velasquez continues with a high output pace of ground and pound.
All the blood going into his eyes, it wasn't going to last too long.
I guarantee you this fight will be very different than it was the first one. Very different.
We have already trained for him before, but I think kind of freshen up on him again. He just beat also Overeem, so he's definitely dangerous.
He's beat Fedor, and when Fedor was supposed to be really one of the guys unbeatable, and he was able to destroy him.
Silva is absolutely manhandling, dominating Fedor Emelianenko.
Por eu já ter 2 lutas a mais no UFC, vai fazer com que eu vá entrar mais relaxado e eu vou conseguir essa vitória.
I think Bigfoot's going to come out more aggressive, throw more punches, throw more kicks.
Chutar com wrestling nunca é bom, mas eu acho que chutar alto seria bacana. Então vamos tomar mais cuidado, mas se eu tiver uma oportunidade, com certeza eu vou chutar.
Overeem made the statement that Bigfoot was big and slow. I don't think he's that slow. I think he's just big.
Silva with the distinct size advantage, plenty of power in his striking as well.
Bigfoot has the biggest hands you're ever going to see in a fighter, though. So if that hand starts you, you're going down.
Purdue goes down. He's in trouble. He's in trouble big time. Bigfoot, ground and pound.
Cain Velasquez is not well known for his hard chin. He can't get dropped. He can't get knocked out.
Oh, good combination. Cain Velasquez is putting on a stand-up clinic here, Mike.
I am quicker than Bigfoot, so I definitely have to use that to my advantage going into this fight.
Velasquez tight and technical, very short, crisp. Oh, look at that.
Key for me against Bigfoot is a lot of movement. Can't stand in one place for too long.
Cain Velasquez is going to look to stick and move.
Pela diferença de peso, ele é 25 pounds a menos do que eu. Mas para ele me alcançar, ele vai ter que chegar perto de mim. E se ele chegar perto de mim, eu tenho uma mão bem mais pesada do que a dele. E tenho certeza que se entrar, ele vai sentar.
Now trying to stick a big shot from Silva. A huge right hand. Travis Brown's in trouble. And Brown might be out. Antonio, Bigfoot Silva.
Brock on the attack. Flying knee from Lesnar.
Brock is relentless, but he wasn't able to take Cain down there.
The one area where Cain is way above Bigfoot is the wrestling. There's really not many heavyweights in the UFC that can match Cain's wrestling.
Rothwell trying to get back at his feet, but Cain drags him right back down.
Eu acho que ele vai querer fazer exatamente como fez a primeira luta. Tenho certeza que ele acha que ficando por cima será melhor para ele.
Velasquez, an incredible collegiate wrestler, two-time All-American.
Levanta. Isso.
Eu vou chegar com a resistência física para lutar bem em 5 rounds. Vocês podem ter certeza.
I have a fight against Bigfoot, and I'm going to win again. That's it.
No fighter can match the striking output of Cain Velasquez.
A única coisa que eu tenho que fazer é treinar, dar o meu melhor, ir lá e mostrar o contrário, assim como eu venho fazendo sempre que as pessoas não acreditam em mim. Então eu acho que eu tenho que continuar fazendo isso.
After this fight with Bigfoot, I'm going to, have that belt with me again. I'm going to keep you for a long time.
In May 25th, I know I will be the UFC champion.
Complete total domination.
And now, the new undisputed UFC.
While Cain Velasquez celebrated after recapturing the heavyweight belt, Junior Dos Santos suffered.
I was very disappointed, to lose my belt. I believe so much I'm the number one in this division. I had to go to the hospital after the fight because I had some, hard punches in my face. I did some tests there at the hospital, and they said I trained too much for the fight. I crossed the line. My creatinine was too high. Normally it's to 50 to 300. I was 1,400 something. Very, very high.
Elevated creatinine is a natural byproduct of overtraining and results in sluggishness and fatigue.
It was a not so good fight for me, but I learned a lot. Now I got a physiologist all the time with me, and all my trainings, he's there, testing everything.
Mão na frente, solto. A equipe em si, a equipe de Cigano, antes de cada dia que passa, nós estamos... a evolução é constante, né? Ele procura trazer o melhor que tem no país ou no exterior para buscar muito mais êxito no treinamento. É a evolução do esporte e nós temos que acompanhar essa evolução.
Now, if something goes wrong during the training, I'm gonna know before it become a problem to me. I want to fight for the title again. I want my rematch with Cain Velasquez, but I'm not thinking about that now. Everything what I got in my mind is Mark Hunt.
Mark Hunt is a real Cinderella story. He is a former heavyweight K1 Grand Prix champion. It is one of the most prestigious titles in all of striking and combat sports.
Hunt entered MMA in 2004, scoring upset victories over Wanderlei Silva and Mirko Krokop. But his limited ground skills made him vulnerable to elite fighters.
When the UFC purchased Pride, they got a bunch of contracts, and Mark Hunt's was one of them. They offered Mark Hunt money to get him out of his contract so they didn't have to bring him to the UFC. Mark Hunt says, no way, I want to fight. I want to fight in the UFC, I want to earn my keep, I want to show you that I still have it, that I am capable of beating the best in the world.
I was still thinking I was the best fighter on this planet, and I didn't know what it was that wasn't working.
There was not a lot of people that really thought that he had what it takes to compete against the best of the best inside the octagon. His first fight inside the UFC sort of reinforced other people's opinions. He got caught in a Kimura very early on by Sean McCorkle, and he got tapped in the first round.
I don't think anybody took me seriously at that point.
You're talking about hometown heroes, born in New Zealand, lives now in Sydney, Australia. Mark Hunt is a hero here.
Fighting in Sydney gave me a amount of comfort. It was good to fight in my own backyard and home. To get the first win in the UFC was great. It was a good feeling. I'd been down so long, so many times, didn't know what was going on, what was wrong.
By knockout, Mark.
And so getting the victory was a real plus for the mind.
Oh, it's so good to win tonight in my own home.
There was only one way to go, was up.
Mark Hunt, ladies and gentlemen.
6 months later, the resurgence continued.
And that takes a lot of energy, and he hit a right hand. He's in trouble. He's in trouble.
Or Super Samoan Hunt.
The Czech Congo fight was a good fight for me. It was good to go back in Japan and fight. I was feeling pretty strong.
Big nugget. Chicago's in all sorts of trouble. That's it. He's in here.
Czech Congo fight really started opening people's eyes.
And they love him here in Japan.
That really changed a lot of people's opinions of what is possible with Mark Hunt inside the octagon.
Hunt's unlikely story, combined with his iron chin and granite hands, was growing his fan base.
I did feel the support coming behind. Then after I started winning some fights, it was a good feeling.
The Stefan Struve fight took it to a completely different level.
The challenge that Stefan Struve provided was he's a tall guy.
And now Struve's got a hold of the leg, Kenny.
Yeah, and this is exactly why Mark Hunt needs to get back to his feet.
And he poses a lot of difficulties with his ground game and his jiu-jitsu.
Mark Hunt countering properly, but now finds himself in the mount. Hunt trying to cover up, but Struve continues.
He did get the mount to me a couple of times, but he wasn't doing any damage to me. I mean, nothing to make me finish the fight.
Standing. Our third and final round.
Mark Hunt has hurt Struve. He's backed him up. The left hook did it again.
Blasted him with a left hook and then stepped away casually because he's done that 100 times in his life before. Mark Hunt is a real killer.
So, Mark, can you talk us through the end of the fight? That vintage left hook found its home, and as you've done so often, you backed up and just enjoyed the knockout.
Yeah.
The next day, Struve tweeted a photo of his x-ray. A clean break on the right side of his jaw.
I didn't know his jaw was broken, but they would have put down a rhino.
Mark Hunt's got a history of success in pure striking that Junior Dos Santos simply can't match up with.
This fight provides me the biggest opportunity in the world. We all look for these kind of opportunities, you know? It's to fight the best in the world and try to realize a dream.
Growing up in Auckland, New Zealand, it didn't take much to set Mark Hunt off.
I fought a lot as a kid. I was often in trouble with a lot of things. There's not that much money around in the family, so you get pretty angry. Sometimes you don't eat this and that, and you're like, well, you know, you grow up pretty angry. My life probably would have been in jail. I mean, God through mixed martial art or through fighting saved my life, so yeah. I got into combat sports as an accident, so I got into an altercation outside a nightclub. And that's where I met my first trainer. I had a week of training and then I was fighting a Muay Thai fight. And I won the fight, I knocked the guy out. He was like 30 kilos heavy, but I knocked him out in the second round.
In 2000, Mark won the K1 Oceania title.
My first big win at K1 was when I realized I made more money in 24 minutes than I had in 6 months of work. I thought maybe I'd put more time and effort into training, and then that's when I realized I'd make a living out of this.
Another Oceania title the following year earned Mark an invitation to the K1 World Grand Prix. Upset victories over Jerome LeBanner, Stefan Leko, and Francisco Filo awarded him kickboxing's highest prize.
Yeah, it was a pretty good accomplishment. I'm the only person from this side of the world that's ever done it and will ever do it. To be the best fighter on the planet at your sport is amazing. I got involved in MMA because I had already won the K1 world title. It was a mountain I'd climbed already, so mixed martial arts was a new sport. It was a new challenge. Learning the ground, it's a whole different ballgame than actually just striking. Learning the sport as in a ground fight and everything, it was like a new beginning with a fighter.
In just his third MMA fight, Mark ended Vanderlei Silva's 24-fight win streak. A year later, he took out fellow K1 world champ, Mirko Cro Cop.
For Mirko, it was a revenge match. He'd beat me in K1, and I'd beat him in mixed martial arts.
Mark won 5 consecutive fights in Pride, 3 by knockout.
Big overhand right.
One of the most feared strikers in MMA, Mark Hunt. Nice fight, and that rocks Nishijima, and it's over!
But as the level of competition increased, his limited ground skills became exposed.
Mark's transition from kickboxing to MMA was a hard one because he got thrown into Pride straight away after the K1 title. Mark didn't have any ground game at all.
There it is again, the armbar from the bottom. Now he's going to get it, I think.
When he fought Yoshida, he had been training with us 6 weeks.
Mark suffered a series of submission losses, all to reigning or former world champions.
My faith carried me through most of it, all of it actually. Most of the time I was losing. When I was just losing especially, I still felt I was still the best fighter in the world.
The loss in his UFC debut did little to shake Mark's confidence.
Although I didn't win, I put that down to not fighting for such a long time.
Oh, huge right hand, and look at him walk away. There's the one. He's looking for the walk-away knockout again. He clipped him with an uppercut.
3 consecutive victories put him back on the MMA radar. The early support was somewhat tongue-in-cheek, but the epic knockout of a top 10 heavyweight
And that'll do it! What a performance by Mark Hunt!
has presented the popular 39-year-old with a very real shot at a UFC title.
He's dangerous when he's happy, and he's very happy at the moment, so it's good to see.
I did win a K1 world title, and now I'm trying to win a mixed martial arts world title.
Once again, that left hook finding the home for Mark Hunt.
It's the pinnacle for any fighter, to be the world champion or fight for it.
There's a new contender in the UFC's heavyweight division. His name is Mark Hunt.
The opportunity is what I've always wanted. You know, give me the opportunity, that's all I need.
Mark Hunt was not Junior Dos Santos' original opponent for UFC 160.
My first opponent for this fight was Alistair Overeem, but he pulled out of the fight again.
A failed drug test removed Overeem from a 2012 meeting with Dos Santos. This time it was a thigh injury.
They said to make this fight, me against Alistair Overeem, in July. And I said, man, I don't want to fight in July, I want to fight now. You know, I'm getting prepared to fight in May 25th, and I want to fight in this day. If he was the champion, I could wait. But he's not the champion, he's nobody.
Just 3 days before Overeem pulled out, Mark Hunt chopped down 7-foot Stefan Struve.
Junior Dos Santos versus Mark Hunt was a fight that, when it was announced, sent a real buzz through the hardcore mixed martial arts community. Everyone knows that Junior Dos Santos prefers to strike, but when you're facing a guy like Mark Hunt, you have to rethink the entire idea.
Uh-oh. Oh, huge, heavy uppercut. That's not good for Mr. Teixeira. Oh, he got nailed. He's hurt, Mike. Got looking all sorts of trouble. That's it. He's trying to finish it here. It's over. Hand over hand. Let's go, let's go.
He's a really tough guy, you know. He got a really pretty good resistance, and he hits very hard. It's going to be a good fight for the fans. I'm sure about that, and I think everybody's going to like this fight.
Junior's been pretty successful because of his striking abilities. He's a good striker. He's got most of his opponents by, beating the crap out of them.
Gonzaga's hurt bad, Mike.
That's what I do. I like to just strike as well.
Stylistically, Mark Hunt is about as stiff a competition for a fighter like Junior Dos Santos as he's ever going to get. Former K1 Grand Prix champion, a guy with devastating knockout power and an iron chin.
I'm comfortable standing with him because I love confrontation. I'm that kind of guy.
Não, nós estamos traçando um treinamento, mas a sua identidade maior é a trocação. Como foi assim, Cigano nocauteou já outros strike, nocauteou o Procop. Nocauteou Gilbert Ivan. Então, Cigano está acostumado a nocauteá-lo.
Junior Cigano dos Santos!
I don't care too much about how tough he is and how hard he hits. I think I'm faster than him, and I'm gonna use that to punch him a lot. He's really dangerous, but I can knock anyone out, and I'm gonna knock this guy out.
Mark Hunt has perhaps the best chin that has ever existed on the face of the planet. He's taken devastating shots, shots that would have knocked many men unconscious.
I do think he's going to try and take the fight to the mat once he realizes that I have a huge arsenal and I'm armor-plated, so, of course he will.
Good leg sweep.
The ground game, I do not consider that a weakness. I've been doing it for 8 or 9 years now, so I'm pretty well-rounded.
Been going, like you said, for 9 years on jiu-jitsu, so he's very good. He's got a few attacks, but he's more a defensive fighter on the ground. All he wants to do is get back up and bang, and he's got that game sort of down pat, so it's hard to catch Mark anymore and hard to put him down.
The Super Samoan in top position again.
I think he has a pretty good takedown defense, but if I try to take him down, I think he's gonna go down.
Junior Dos Santos also has a ground game that we very rarely see that he may just dust off to take out Mark Hunt.
I train a lot of jiu-jitsu. After this fight against Cain Velasquez, I learned a lot, and I'm going to try to use more of my jiu-jitsu. I'm going to try to use all my weapons to win the fights.
For Mark Hunt, it's a chance to, in beating Junior Dos Santos, establish himself as the #1 contender in the UFC's heavyweight division.
He was the world champion, but we're at top level. I've been fighting top level my whole career. So, it's just another fighter to me.
Oh, huge right hand, and look at him walk away.
Winning this fight is going to fight for the title, and that's what I want, because I really believe I'm the #1.
Right hand by Junior Dos Santos.
I can defeat Junior Dos Santos. I can defeat anybody.
Continuing to smash
Mark Hunt has 4 wins, one after the other, but now I'm going to stop him.
Dos Santos going for the finish.
It's over for him. Now he's going to lose.
Scary, scary man.
Shortly before native New Zealander Mark Hunt enters the octagon, fellow Kiwi James Te Huna will make the march.
I was brought up in the North Island of New Zealand, which is a strong Māori culture. In New Zealand, we're brought up with lots of poverty, and we're very sort of a physical, kind of a aggressive sort of a bunch. My father was a brawler. His all his brothers and my aunties were brawlers too. So yeah, it was definitely in the blood. I come over from New Zealand to Australia. I come over when I was 17 years old. I was working as a bricklayer's labourer, working on construction. I started watching Mark Hunt. He was a K1 superstar in Japan. Within a year, he went from fighting on the regional circuit to winning the K1 crown. I believe that if I put all my effort into training and everything that came with it, I'll be able to be successful like him. So I followed my dreams.
James was successful immediately, but MMA wasn't big business in Australia, and he was struggling to get by.
There's a lot of times when I think about quitting.
He's living at home with mum and dad, 28 years old, living at home, driving an old car, hardly any money.
In 2010, opportunity knocked. The UFC held its first show in Australia, and James, riding a 5-fight win streak, was invited to join the card.
My first UFC fight, I fought Eagle Bukarik. He was a very tough fighter. When I first walked out there, it just blew me away, thousands of people, lights in front of you. The only thing I remember is walking up those steps into the cage, and then a big blank. My opponent was punching me in the side of the head.
Oh, good right hand by Eagle and another.
The second round, he nearly had me finished.
Teeing off again, going off now. Oh, got rocked. Oh, turned. It's in trouble. 15 seconds left in the round.
The third round, he's come up with a head kick, and I've blocked it with one arm. I knew something was breaking. The ulnar bone was actually snapped to the side here like that, and it was poking out the side. I knew I had only like a couple of minutes in me before the pain started settling in. I put him in a position where I was striking him, and the handle I was striking him with was the one that I snapped.
Te Huna lands ground pound. Over! James Te Huna, victorious in his UFC debut.
It was definitely fulfilling. I had a year layoff, tried to recover from this break. I had an infection throughout those 12 months that I had off. And then I got matched up against Gustafsson.
Te Huna has slowed down, and Gustafsson is taking advantage of it. Spun, takes the back, both hooks in. Ooh, not good. Full rear naked.
This fight. It is all over. Alexander Gustafsson.
Straight after the fight, he said to me, he goes, I ain't losing again.
He realised to reach his goal, he couldn't afford any more of those. He surrounded himself around with some good people, and we put a team together, and step by step every day, and he's continually improved.
He's a powerful athlete. Years and years of training, but now we're learning to generate that power efficiently. So when he picks his time, it is scary.
Okay, here we go. You ready? You ready? Let's do this.
Knockouts of Ricardo Romero.
Oh, he got tagged. He got hurt bad. Again, and it is all over.
And Aaron Rosa.
He breaks, lands a huge combination. Oh, another uppercut finds its home. Rosa's in all sorts of trouble early. And it's the left hook again, John. Down goes Rosa.
And a war with Joey Beltran.
The uppercuts are flying for James Te Huna. Look at these exchanges. Till the end.
One, despite a broken hand and a broken foot, earned James a matchup with Ryan Jimmo, who entered riding a 17-fight win streak.
When Jimmo caught me with a head kick, dropped me, I was nearly out.
Devastating kick off the lead leg of Jimmo.
Jimmo's on top of me trying to finish me off.
And James Te Huna's in survival mode. Ryan Jimmo is pouring it on.
I knew that I had to try and move my head, otherwise the ref's going to stop it. And then he gassed a little bit. Second and third round, he didn't have much gas in the tank. And I took control of it from there.
Nicely done by James Te Huna.
victory, his 10th in his last 11 fights, earned James a step up in competition, a matchup with the 4th-ranked light heavyweight in the world, Glover Teixeira.
If you've never seen this man fight before, he is a killer.
You know what? Jamie wants this fight. I'm pretty sure a lot of other fighters in the top 10 don't really want to fight Teixeira because he's very dangerous and he's got very heavy hands.
Big left hook. He's a big trouble. Fabio down. Trying to finish him right here.
But Jamie wants it.
He's right up the top of the division. He's the most feared light heavyweight there is. So for me to beat him, it will mean a great deal for me. My goal was to have a title shot, you know. Nothing's going to stop me.
In January, surging light heavyweight Glover Teixeira gave his 17-fight win streak its toughest test. Former UFC champion Rampage Jackson.
I am a big fan of Rampage. He was in pride in UFC, become a champion. Fighting him was an honor. It was a great honor.
Rampage and Glover Teixeira. Here we go. Good left hook. He wobbled him. He wobbled him.
The knockdown in the first round, Rampage was open for uppercuts and a left hook, and I knew I was going to catch him sooner or later.
He dropped him. He dropped him. Again, Teixeira all over him.
The takedown in the second round, after I knocked him down, he was so worried about the hand as well, so the takedown would become easier.
That's the 3rd takedown for Glover.
The plan was to knock him out, but he was tough, you know, he's tough. I knew he was tough.
Big uppercut, big punch to the chin.
I definitely feel like I dominated all the rounds. It was a good fight for me.
That is 18 straight victories for Glover Teixeira.
The victory moved Glover to number 4 in the division. Lofty status for a fighter who's only been in the organization for a year.
It doesn't matter to me if it's number 4, number 6, or number 8, or number 3. I just want to be number 1.
Glover Teixeira is the latest exciting fighter to enter into the 205-pound UFC division.
He doesn't take a backward step. He uses momentum to push forward and hurt guys and making other guys fear him. And that's something that I won't be doing.
James Te Huna pouring it on.
I'm just going to go and push the pace like I always do in my fights.
Big right hand over the top. Glover again out of the punches.
I go and get to the center octagon and I pace my fight. You know, that's the way I've been doing, and I'm not going to change that.
Jamie won't be bullied. He won't be dominated. He won't be dictated. He won't be manipulated. If people think that Glover is going to dictate or dominate Jamie Te Huna, they better think again.
He's got a lot of power behind his punches. That's what I like. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the challenge, and I won't back down.
It's always dangerous to trying to stand up with someone in that level, you know. But you know what? It's more dangerous for him.
Glover Teixeira is a dangerous fighter, and again with the right hand.
He likes to box from a distance, but he loves to be in the pocket too, so hopefully my speed's going to catch him.
Oh, you got tagged. You got hurt bad.
Don't get me wrong, you know, I'm training a lot of wrestling, and if I see over there opening, I'm definitely going to take the fight to the ground, and I'm going to go for submission as well.
So he's got a little trial here. He's going to take things for the submission. It is all over!
It doesn't really bother me. I'm going to have an answer for everything. I really want to shut everyone up. I want to prove something to the world that I can be the first person to put them away.
I will defeat James Te Huna. May 25th, I'm going to go after him, and I'm going to try to put him down.
I believe I can beat him. I'm confident now. I'm smiling.
And it's going to be 19 in a row after this fight. 19 wins in a row.
Teixeira.